happy schedule release Wednesday to all of you out there, and welcome into another episode of the Parking Brown Show. I'm Jacob. That's Casey Kinnaman, Mr. Nick Carnes down below. We're brought to you as always by our friends over at Homage Apparel. They'll get you ready for the schedule that you just learned about. And they'll even tell you that I like to fart. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Twinning
over there.
Hey, listen, I twinned with Jacob yesterday, and now I'm twinning with Casey today.
It's the
beautiful thing. You love to see it.
Yeah, it's the power of the homage. It's the power of the homage. Gentlemen, how are we tonight?
Good, man. Good. Just got the news finally. Unfortunately, this was leaked earlier today, and I didn't know if it was credible, but then it matched up. Yeah. I made the mistake of looking. I should have even looked earlier, so I could have been surprised, but it's my fault. Rookie mistake.
Yeah,
I like it. Hey, man, I like it. I know we're about to get into it here, but you know what? First and foremost, number one, I'm just glad the Browns have a late bye. It's not like week 5 shit that it's like you've barely gotten into playing, and then by the time you get to the end of the season, you've got half a team left. Like what is it?
Week 10. But I think that's just on the high side of halfway. You know what I mean? So I like it.
Yeah, it works out that way. Well, gentlemen, the Browns did what the Browns do when it comes to releasing schedules, and they had a nice schedule release. Let's go ahead and pull that up on Twitter.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I have not seen it yet. I was trying to. Oh, here it is. I was trying to get everything prepared for the show and whatnot, so I had not seen it yet. So let's get this on the screen for anybody who has not seen it.
It's Pop Jacob's cherry.
Hey, we got Dynasty Rival Gaming checking in. What's up, man? Hey, how are you? How you doing? Welcome. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube. We really need you to subscribe to the YouTube. All right. Let's check it out. Oh, God. But you notice how they didn't show what happened to Emerson's ball? Or did he make it?
You better celebrate. There we go.
Thank you.
I like the music. It's a good groove.
It is.
Look at the back on that man.
Lord, is he gonna get it? Oh, look at it. Of course he's good at that.
He's solid.
What the fuck is that? Oh. Oh, because it's the Chargers. Okay.
Segura, stop sitting around. Clean up. Late 10 now. Get a move on, sunshine.
Was that Bo?
Lebowski action.
That's not how you bowl, David.
You tell him that.
No, but...
What's up, Grant? Game time.
That's right, I did it! Who do you think you are? I am!
It's the real guy.
Okay, all right. That was
It's awesome.
dude, just the run into the toilet part, and I see we
Crying Ben on the bench.
Those are the two best parts.
the Josh already said about the who do you think? Yeah, Serge, that got me too, man. That got me too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done from them.
Oh God, that's great. So where do we want to start? We'll start. We predicted, all of us predicted almost 100% accurately that they would have 4 primetime games, except we all said that the 4th would be Christmas. So that's the only aspect of it that we didn't get right, but we were right about 4 primetime games, all in the playoff push, all at the end of the year, a pair of Thursdays. Drew loves the hat that Case is rocking tonight.
Thank you, Drew.
So initial thoughts about the 4 primetime games and them all being I'm with you, Nico. It was but it got me, man. That was hilarious. It was hilarious. So what do you guys think about four primetime games during the playoff push?
Is pretty much what I figured, but I think it's going to end up being 5. That last game against Baltimore's TBD.
Right.
You know, I think they could very well be 5. Both Thursday night games are against division opponents, one home, one away. The game at Denver scares me because they're not going to be a good team, but they on the road on a Monday night in Denver, the game will probably be tougher than it needs to be. And to get Miami at home later in the year when it will be colder.
Yep.
And they're not a cold weather team. Not that many teams are in the NFL, but they are a particularly warm weather team. So I think that's favorable.
There's a few things I really like that stand out to me. Number one, last year we were talking about like the early strength of the schedule the Browns had to face and how I think 3 of the first 4 weeks were AFC North teams, if I'm not mistaken. Right? So this year...
you know it, weeks 1, 2, and 4. 3 was Titans. Other than that, it was all division.
This year, your first division game isn't until week 7 against Cincinnati, right? And let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of your first 5 opponents were not playoff teams last year, right? I know a lot of those are away games, but I think there's a great opportunity to really build some momentum early in the season. Whereas like last year, everyone was like, the Browns will be 1-3 and Kevin Stefanski will be fired at the bye and all that nonsense, right? It's like
that did happen.
It absolutely happened. It's still in there, man. But I think this year, even with the 3 straight away games, it's like the softer part of your schedule is definitely early. So I love that if you're going to play away, let's have it be the easier part of the schedule consecutively. I love that. And I think that so let's just go with the first 6. Cowboys, Jaguars, Giants, Raiders, Commanders, Eagles. Like if you could be 4-2, maybe even pie in the sky, 5-1 through that, like that feels very achievable to me. What do you guys think?
Well, you got to look on the back end of that because I think that's the Eagles game, the last one you mentioned there. It's a tough game on the road, tough place to play. But then you have 3 tough games right after that, all at home.
Yeah.
That's to me, that's the toughest stretch. You got at Eagles, home for Bengals, home for Ravens, then home for Chargers. That's a tough. Then you have your bye. So I think that's critical right there.
Then you get New Orleans right out of the bye, and then it starts getting very AFC North and very I mean, you go Pittsburgh on Thursday night, Denver on Monday night, which is kind of interesting for the Browns because you're getting that mini bye +1 right there because you're playing a Thursday night followed by a Monday night. That's a scheduling break little benefit that the Browns got that they don't normally get. So, normally it's, hey, play on Monday and then Thursday. It usually seems to be. But you get Pittsburgh.
Oh, sorry. The next Thursday night they're on, they also play Sunday night. So it's like about as late of a turnaround as you could have for playing on Thursday.
Right. For getting stuck with 2 Thursday night games in the final, what is it, like 6 weeks? But, you get Denver on Monday night. That one's going to be probably a little tricky, but then you have to get Pittsburgh again. But then you go Pittsburgh, Kansas City, at Cincinnati. I love playing the Dolphins at nearly New Year's in Cleveland.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah, at night.
At night. Oh, God, I didn't even think about it being at night on December 29th with the lake, the wind coming off the lake. Just, ooh. Hey, man, if you want to talk about, if you truly, this is for all those anti-dome football weather guys. Well, they better show it on December 29th this year. But then you end it against Baltimore. But that stretch of like Pittsburgh, KC, Cincy, Miami, Baltimore to end it, man, you're going to have to earn it. You're going to have to earn it. And if you are what you're supposed to be, I'm not concerned. 12, 13 wins. I still see 12 or 13 wins. I like the hard games being later because if you've got some kinks to work out early, well,
which with the new offense, you undoubtedly will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas and Jacksonville. Some people aren't very high on Jacksonville. Some people are not very high on Dallas. Like I'm just trying to, but I think those are good teams. But then you get the Giants, Raiders, and Commanders, and okay, fix some things because when you come back from that bye week and a little bit before that bye week, it's going to get a bit hairy.
It's really interesting to me how you've got 3 straight road games followed by 3 straight home games in that stretch. Like say the Browns, like those, that's definitely that 3-week stretch of Giants, Raiders, Commanders is definitely the easiest part of the schedule, right? Of any 3 consecutive weeks. And that's your 3 straight road games, which feels generous to me. I thank, you know what? I don't feel like we thank schedule makers a lot, but that feels like if they're going to have 3 straight road games, those are the 3 straight road opponents I want.
One thing that makes me uneasy is you have the bye in week 10 and you have 8 games after the bye. Only 3 of those are at home. 3 of the final 8 are at home. That's
tough.
Hopefully the defense learns how to play on the road by then.
Yeah.
And then it'll alleviate a lot of my concern.
Yeah, because before that, when you've got those 3 straight home games, which to include divisional opponents, things are going to get real intimate in Cleveland. You know, it's like that's just going to be 3 straight weeks of these intense. Because I don't know, I'm not sure what collective expectation around the Chargers is, but I expect them to be better. And they always give the Browns fits. Like I don't know the last time the Browns beat the Chargers. Does that feel off base?
Christmas Eve, Jamie Meter blocking a kick.
Is that it? Blocking that kick.
That's been a long time, brother. There's a lot of games between that. So for whatever reason, the Chargers always give the Browns problems, and then you've got 2 straight divisional opponents there at home. Like those that's going to be an intense stretch.
Jacob doing deep thinking. I think one thing we need to examine is we have 2 Thursday night games, and we know who we play the week before. We play the Saints coming out of the bye, and then we turn around on a short week and play Pittsburgh. But then before we play our Thursday night game against the Bengals, we have a game against the Chiefs that Sunday. That's tough, man. That's tough. You want to give the Chiefs your all, obviously, but that's tricky to maneuver when you have a game 4 days later, and it can often take a chunk out of you. I don't know who the Bengals playing week 15. I'd be interested to see
Well, I
what
will
they're
say
doing.
one thing that's interesting about that. That's as good of a short turnaround road game as you can get from Cleveland to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Because
True.
they're on the road in that short week, but they're home for Kansas City and then they're on the road in Cincinnati. So that's
They get okay. So Cincy plays Tennessee the week before they play
Home or
Cleveland.
away.
They are away
Okay.
at Tennessee.
Okay. Yeah, so this was a thing we saw these rumors flying around that they were going to be forever, and they ended up not having any overseas international games. Are you surprised by that?
From all the smoke we heard early, especially with the Brazil game, when we didn't get the Brazil game, I thought, well, fuck, they're going to send us to London now, which I wasn't happy about. I was happy to play in Brazil because I don't want to play Philly in Philly,
Mhm.
But I'm glad. I'm glad we're not playing the international games. But keep in mind that means we're on the slate for next year. We haven't been there since the Vikings game in 2017.
I remember that game. Oh
So
man,
we're due. We
Yeah.
dodged it this year. We won't get as lucky next year, probably.
I would like to see the Browns over in England. I think it's cool to cultivate fan bases over there, and like you said, it's been a long time. Like by the time next year rolls around, you'd be what 8 years then since they've been there. So yeah, I think they were supposed to go there during like the COVID stuff, but obviously all that got shut down.
Yeah, you're right. I do remember that now because we ended up Jacksonville.
All right, so overall, then, how are we feeling about the schedule? We made our predictions yesterday. If you haven't seen that episode, go check it out because we got spicy.
It was a banger.
It was a banger. So, what are you guys thinking? What are your record predictions any different?
No. I still wholeheartedly believe we can do 5-1 in the division. 4-2 at worst. I think that this is the year you sweep Pittsburgh, split the other two. Got to feel good about that. Toughest division in football. It's the reason we're always going to have one of the harder schedules. It's because no matter what, we have to play each other. You know what I mean? So that just brings your strength of schedule all the way up. I just look at the matchups, man. Dallas, high profile. They're in a weak conference. They'll probably contend for their division with Philly, but they have offensive line problems. We don't have defensive line problems. It's a good matchup, man.
Yeah,
it's a good matchup at home.
I really like what Pittsburgh did in the draft this year,
and last year.
Well, I'm talking just on the offensive line.
Yeah, they needed it. But they did. That was a huge draft for their offensive line. And it might not pay immediate dividends, but that's a draft that 2 or 3 years from now, that unit's going to be fucking solid on that.
Well, yeah, you got 3 guys that can play that you just selected this year. I don't think because I don't think McCormick probably doesn't play this year, but you add Broderick Jones from last year, and you got a lot more talent. But you're probably starting 2 rookies on your offensive line.
Yep.
One of which some people think he should be playing guard and not tackle. So they're either going to do one of 2 things. They're going to leave him at left tackle, or they're going to have Fontenouche switch to right tackle and bring Jones over the left tackle. Or Jones already on. It's so confusing when I'm thinking off the top of my head. But you're potentially moving one of those tackles. And one has questions on whether he can play tackle or needs to kick inside. I think Fontenouche. I think he's a tackle. I've said that the whole way. But you potentially got a rookie tackle and a rookie center against this pass rush. Yeah, I think they're going to be really good, but man, this is the time to get some growing pains in there. And yeah, I understand this. By the time we face them, they may have figured it out by then. Yeah, that's 100% accurate. I'm with you. I understand it, but
it's too much inexperience. They're talented players, but they're rookies. You're asking a rookie or a second-year player at best to block Myles Garrett. That's the assignment. That's unfair, I don't know, man. Look at the schedule. Also, you get a rookie quarterback in week 5 in Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
So from a quarterback perspective, one thing, it sucks because Watson's such a unknown factor this year. It's really cool if you look at a schedule drop and you just look at it through this lens. Who has the better quarterback in these matchups? And I wish we could play that game right now, but unfortunately we do not know.
I will say, I think the coolest thing about this schedule that feels really fortunate to me is the Browns play all 3 AFC North opponents at home before they play them away. All 3 of them, which is really interesting to me.
You got to bank those 3 then.
Yeah.
You got to bank those 3. That's pretty lopsided. Yeah, now that you mentioned that.
Yeah. I didn't notice that. It's so funny. The longer you stare at it, you start realizing those things. You're like, oh wait, and there's this, and there's that.
That's important. I think, especially the 2 Thursday nights are Steelers and Bengals, right? And I love that you come home for Thursday night at Pittsburgh, who you struggled way more against, and you go away to Cincy for Thursday, where you've won. And a team that you definitely should feel confident against because we know the Browns record against Joe Burrow's 1-5 against the Browns, which is a beautiful thing. So it's like I feel like there's a tremendous opportunity to gain confidence against all 3 division opponents at home before you have to face them on the road. And this schedule feels like it's difficult, right? I fully acknowledge, right?
Yeah.
When you're ending the Final 4, Chiefs, Bengals, Dolphins, Ravens, that's 4 straight playoff teams, right? And if you want to count the Steelers as a playoff team, you end with 5 straight, right? That's an intense schedule, but I think there are some nuances within it that do favor the Browns.
I like New Orleans coming out of the bye.
Yeah,
I think that I've said it already. I know, but like I think the timing of it. Like that's something I'd heard Jake Burns talking about on his podcast. When it goes to like the strength of schedule, you can't really do strength of schedule in the preseason. You don't know how different these teams are going to be, especially when you don't have the scheduled dates because you're like, well, when are we playing the Saints? Are we playing them week 1 when they're healthy or week 11 where they might be out of it already? Those sorts of things really matter. And now we kind of get a little bit of an idea, but again, we don't know how injuries and things like that and when they're going to strike. We have no idea how that stuff's going to play out. But I think that I've only gone to 1 road Browns game ever, and that was because my Army unit was holding the flag for the national anthem of the Browns Bengals game. But I think. Oh, it's stupid, but I think we'll probably go to Philly.
To where?
To Philly.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well,
October 13th.
I'll tell you what, Casey's talked about Jacksonville. You're talking about Philly. I'm not sure what my group is going to vote, but I'm going to do my best to do a little extra traveling this year. Let's see if we can get to some of these away games together because that would be.
Have you boys ever been to New Orleans?
No, sir.
No.
But it's a fun time.
I'd really like to go.
It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Well,
I got that 17th. One.
17th.
Right. That's like that one. And
yeah, I know a lot of people are going to do that one. One day I want to go to Vegas, but I don't think this is the time.
I'm not in the tax bracket for me to go to Vegas right now.
That's true. That's very accurate. I am not.
I'm not positive. I know that the group originally wanted to go to Vegas, but I'm not sure if it's. I tried to go to some later games, so I'm not sure. It might be. We'll see. We'll see where things are going to go.
The Miami thing, if it was on the road, that would have been a great time to go down to Miami.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And that's the thing too. Like at home, it'll be cold and you could go to like New Orleans. That would be nice.
Yeah. Cause that's that's November. That's mid-November when they go to New Orleans.
Right.
I want to see a game in Pittsburgh. I've never been to Pittsburgh. I've been to Pittsburgh, but not for a football game.
been to one. I would not recommend. But no, absolutely, I agree. If you get a group, because back then that was when the Browns would just routinely get their behinds kicked. Like it was probably like 35-3 at half.
Yeah.
If I remember correct, I was at one of those types of Browns Steelers games. So we were just getting pelted with peanuts and other various things from higher above us as the Browns are getting their asses kicked. So I'd expect, hey, if you guys both predicted the Browns to sweep the Steelers this year. So if we could see a Browns win in Pittsburgh, oh my God. I want to see, I don't know that anything would fill my heart with more joy than seeing the Pittsburgh Steelers have to do the walk of sadness after playing the Browns in
Or
Pittsburgh.
leave early. Just leave
On
early.
Monday night.
Just leave early, buddy.
Yeah, you just go ahead and duck out and just be standing there. Just
I've watched Bengals fans do it a few times. It's hilarious.
I believe it.
It's hilarious.
Man. Okay.
Well, guys, that's it. That's our talk. That's our schedule release show, schedule reaction. I'm excited. I'm ready. It means we were one step closer to the season, but don't forget, Friday night, later this week, we will have the Jamari Thrash film review up.
Yep.
Talk about probably my favorite pick. I don't know. I love the Zach Zinner pick. I think
he's actually maybe the more exciting pick.
Yeah. You're right. Because you go rotational pass rusher in the second, and then you go safe, smart, reliable, and then you go, very intrigued by Jamari Thrash and what he could do. So we'll review his film later this week. If you're on YouTube, please smash that subscribe button. Tell your mom to subscribe to our YouTube channel. She doesn't have to watch it. That's fine. Just hit that sub button.
Yeah, because it really helps. It helps three guys here chase streams, man.
We're almost at 200, and I don't know what. I did. Mitch won the hat. We haven't ordered the hat, but Mitch has won the hat from the last giveaway. And as we hit to 250, we're at 200 subs on YouTube. I think there may be a giveaway at 250. I think that's probably
okay. I'd love
Let's make that giveaway happen fast.
That's probably
you guys give us your time. We give back to you. That's feels fair to me. So with that said, the road to the AFC North Championship starts right now.
Right now.
I'm Nick. It's Jacob. That's Casey. Go Browns.
Bye.
Bye.